Knights of Apollo, what's up guys? How's it going? Welcome back. Today we've got a little news video. So I've been pretty apathetic about Creative Assembly over the years. As they continue to pump out terrible games, I just don't care anymore about what they're up to. But this little article here has caught my interest, this little report. I don't know if it's for sure. It's kind of just, it's a report. So we'll see if this is true, but apparently Creative Assembly is making a Star Wars game. So Total War Star Wars, I'm sure that's a working title. And I was like, whoa, this is different. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm not exactly thrilled about Star Wars. To be fair, I'm not exactly thrilled about anything Creative Assembly is making. So even if they announce Medieval 3, I wouldn't be thrilled because of their track record of Pharaoh, the launch of Rome 2, Warhammer, those games just being as horrible as they are. And, for a Total War game. I think if you're a Warhammer, whatever, that's beside the point. They've made really bad games. They're greedy DLC, lazy DLC. So, I am not exactly excited for Star Wars, partially because of how terrible Creative Assembly has been these past many years. But another reason I'm not thrilled about it is because Star Wars is, well, it's not what it used to be. Star Wars, I loved as a kid. I grew up watching the originals. I love the originals. I like the prequels. I feel like the prequels, there's a bit of a nostalgia factor there, but I do enjoy them. I don't really watch Star Wars now. Not like Lord of the Rings where I'm watching that once a year, like during Christmas time, but I don't really watch Star Wars that much. I'm not a diehard fan. I will be honest, when I was a kid, who didn't pretend to be a Jedi? I mean, the Jedi, I like the world. I like the universe. It's interesting. I like the simple story of a family drama. It's a space epic. And that's why I like the original. The prequels get a little crazy, but I do like the prequels because they have like the droids and there's much more Jedi and it's just like a different experience. But again, the originals are just like kind of perfect. Anyways, besides the point, I am a Star Wars fan. Now, of course, I'm not a fan of Disney Star Wars. They've pretty much milked Star Wars to nothing. Also, they're constantly trying to promote the message or whatever you want to call that. And they've kind of just ruined Star Wars. I mean, that's why when Amazon got hold of some Lord of the Rings rights or whatever, and they're making their terrible TV show, I was just like, oh man, please don't turn Lord of the Rings into Star Wars. Please don't do that. And of course they did. It's not as bad as Star Wars, compared to Lord of the Rings. I'm hoping the Lord of the Rings Amazon TV show will just be like one of those things where it happened, everyone will kind of forget about it, and like 10 years from now they'll be like, you remember that Lord of the Rings Amazon TV show? Oh yeah, they did that, didn't they? Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping that's what. Anyways, Star Wars has been utterly destroyed, ruined. They've had many opportunities. I will admit, I watched the newest movies with like Rey and Finn and everything. The first one was okay, I guess, and then as it went on, I was like, this is terrible. I don't even think I watched the third one. I did not watch it, so I have no idea what it's about. But the point I'm making here is that Star Wars has been destroyed as a IP. It could be saved, I suppose, if they sell it. I don't know. I think they should just stop. I'm someone who I like when stories just are let to rest. They had their time in the sun. It's time for something new, a different story, different universe. And that includes Lord of the Rings. I know they're making a Lord of the Rings movie, or there's a rumor that Peter Jackson's working on a movie. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't have my hopes up because of the message, I guess. And we'll see how that looks. I mean, I doubt it will be anything like the original trilogy. But anyways, so I guess I'm going to talk about Total War Star Wars. Again, if the game is good, I will enjoy it. And if we're thinking about like what exactly would be the best fit for a Total War Star Wars game, I definitely think the prequel era of the story would probably be better because I think you have more faction potential. You've got you got the droids, you got I guess the I mean I'm not like a lore expert here, but I mean of course you have the Republic. And you could do some cool things with that. Again, I doubt we're gonna get any of this, so don't get your hopes up. But being that the clones have like different types of units, different colors and stuff, it'd be really cool to see a return of the Avatar Conquest where you can create your own clone troopers, give them their own colors, their own sigils, just kind of like that. I think that would be pretty fun. I assume the battles are going to be very much like Warhammer, so I'm not expecting very good, fun battles. It kind of works though, if you think about it. If you think of Warhammer, they've got like steam tanks and they've got these massive like artillery laser beam stuff, and they've got big monsters that throw up. I'm sure there's going to be like some monsters that you can use from the Star Wars universe. The big I don't know when Luke is thrown into, he's at Jabba the Hutt's place and he's thrown in, he's got the big, I'm sure you could have like those like dinosaur looking things on the battlefield and whatnot. So I think the battles are going to probably be like Warhammer because it already feels like it's all there, and they're not going to invest any money until they prove me otherwise, but I don't think they're going to invest any money into a new engine. And also, if the Star Wars battles from the movies are kind of funny in the point that they're very just like one big horde army takes on other big horde army, even though they've got like guns and artillery and like aircraft and everything. It's just very like pew 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 pew. They're just like walking towards each other, so it kind of works in that regard, I suppose. And I can imagine that there's probably some people very, very excited about this. Again, like I said, anything that they make, I'm not going to be excited for until they prove me otherwise, until they actually make a good game. They could be making a Dune game or something. And I'm not really a Dune fan. I mean, I could be. I never really read the books. I've never seen the movie. I saw the original movies like a long time ago, but I've never seen anything else. So I probably should maybe revisit that story. Anyways, they could be making a Dune game or whatever. It doesn't matter because I don't think they make good games right now. So I just don't have expectation. I know, and you might be thinking, oh, negative Apollo, here we go. He never likes anything. Like I said, if they make a good Star Wars game, I'll be on board. I'll be like, okay, this actually looks pretty good. I like Star Wars enough to be into it. But if it's just like Warhammer, if it's just like Pharaoh or Troy, I'm not going to be into it. They gotta wow. It would be cool. I think they could make a really gritty Star Wars game, like really give some life to it and make it this dark and gritty game of, you got these stormtroopers or the clone troopers or whatever. And they're all, like you can make it really dark. And I think you could, but they're not going to do that. So anyways, there's this little article here. It's not really saying much about it. Just kind of talking about how embarrassing CA is, and Sega's now laying off a bunch of people because, and then the Company of Heroes was a bit of an embarrassment too, with Company of Heroes 3, which is just still that game is a big old disappointment. No surprise there. But Total War is one of the golden childs of Sega. They make them a lot of money, or at least they used to. So, I don't know where I'm going with this, but but I guess what I'm saying is since CA is struggling, Sega is struggling. So this might be, maybe this game is a bit of jumping shark. See, Total War fans have called for Creative Assembly to give Star Wars games a shot for years. I don't know, maybe, I mean, I'm sure there's always like somebody out there that's like, hey, you should do a Star Wars game. And I think there's been a couple Star Wars mods as well. But I don't think there's this big outcry for Star Wars games. I could be wrong, you know. Anyways, it looks like they're mentioning that also fans wanted them to continue with the Warhammer trilogy of games with similar efforts for Warhammer 40K. Oh man, I hate Warhammer so much. I hate it so much because of what it did to my beloved franchise. I don't Warhammer, like I'm just not into it. I could have been into it if they made the games good. You know, a good game can make me like a certain IP that I didn't initially like even Vermintide. Vermintide was a fun game, and I kind of got into the lore a little bit. I mean, not really, but I enjoyed it, and it was like surface level lore. I didn't dive deep into the lore or whatever, but I think 40K is a little bit better from what I've seen some lore videos, and it's like, okay, this is kind of unique and interesting, because Warhammer, the Age of Sigmar, or what is Sword and Shield medieval Warhammer, it just seems like Lord of the Rings on steroids. It's like over the top silliness. But at least with 40K, it's like it's unique in the sense that it's a space thing, and you got orcs in space, and it's like that's kind of fun. That's kind of different. Anyways, yeah, so they're gonna have a Star Wars, reportedly a Star Wars Total War game. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Are you excited about it? I can already see, like, I can already envision they're gonna have Jedi heroes, so you're gonna have the hero dynamic. It does seem like a pretty good fit for what their current formula is for their current games. I'm just not a fan of that formula. Again, I guess I'm the minority or whatever, because Warhammer made a lot of money. Because I don't know, I just feel like Warhammer people will buy anything sometimes. It's like, whoa, Warhammer. And it is what it is. But apparently it also says they're in development with let's see, Star Wars is one of the 3 new Total War games in development. So hopefully one of those games is a historical game. I know there's people out there that are like, oh, historical, like it's usually the Warhammer fans that like only played Total War Warhammer, but Total War is at the core a historical franchise, you know what I mean? And that's the beauty of those games, because there's already so much fantasy and stuff, and it's nice to play an authentic historical experience. So hopefully they're making a good historical game, and I really do hope that these games are good. We'll see. I'm not expecting it. Again, you can call me negative or whatever, but I'm not really expecting good games from them, and we'll see until they come out. Again, I'm on the fence with Star Wars. At least it's, I don't know. Star Wars is, like I said, if it picks up the charm of the original Star Wars, it'll be cool. But if it's like Disney Star Wars, I'm going to do a hard pass, I don't know. I might play it. I mean, it's hard not to, you know what? Maybe I should just play it anyways, even if I hate it, because I'm so close to 1 million subs. I mean, I'm pretty sure a Total War Star Wars game would get me over the edge. But yeah, anyways, I think that's about all I have to say about this. There's not really much news about this other than it's reported. So this could not be even true. They could be working on 40K. They could be, someone could be lying about it or whatever. But let me know. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited about it, and I'm sure there's going to be some people like me that are just like, I don't care. But yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Man, see, Creative Assembly is a mess right now. It's a mess. With their what was that game? Hyena or whatever. Total mess. What a joke. All right, anyways, that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Love to hear what you have to say. And yeah, we'll see you next time.